What's going on, everybody? I hope you all are having a good day. As you may know, my family and I picked up 4 brand new 2018 Honda GROMs about a month ago. Now, as expected, I've put in the most miles on mine and I just reached 1,000 miles. So I just wanted to check in with you guys and give you an 1,000-mile review, what my thoughts are on the bike so far, some of the problems that I've had, what I love about it, and a few things that I wish were different about the bike. In one of my most recent GROM videos, I did the ultimate handlebar setup. I've made a few changes with my setup since then, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys that. So as you can see here, the rocks risers are gone. I went ahead and took them off because no matter how hard that I tighten them, when I went to do a stoppie or came down hard on a wheelie, they would move and they would twist in the clamp. I even tried putting thin strips of aluminum in between to make it grip on a little more, but whatever I did, it just did not work. Honestly, I could have used Loctite and it probably would have been just fine. And the position of those rocks risers that I liked the best was neutral. It wasn't pushed forward or back. So I couldn't justify keeping them when I can go spend a third of the money on a different set of risers that doesn't have the adjustability front and back, but they will do just fine because that's the position that I ultimately found the best for me. But for right now, I'm just gonna use the KLX 110 handlebars and the stock clamp and see how I like them. All right guys, so first things first, we're gonna go ahead and give it its second oil change. I'm gonna go ahead and ride around for a little bit, get it warmed up, and I will check back in with you guys in a bit. As I was getting everything set up to do the oil change, I just realized how filthy and disgusting this bike is, so I'm gonna go ahead and power wash it down. I'm not gonna detail it or anything. I don't have any soap that's specific for like matte finish, so I'm just gonna power wash all the mud and the dirt and the bugs off of it for now, and I'll detail it later on. Alright guys, so I got it all cleaned up, the engine's warm, ready for the oil to be changed. Changing the oil on this bike is a love-hate relationship. I love it because it's super easy. You loosen one bolt, you drain it out, and it takes 1 quart. Now what I hate about it is that there's no serviceable oil filter. You actually have to take like the side cover off of the motor, and there's a spinner in there that you actually have to clean out. Now you obviously don't have to do this every time you change your oil. I don't know what the interval is, maybe every like 3,000 miles, I could be wrong. I'm not gonna worry about that for now, but when the time comes, I will be doing a video on that. But let's go ahead and get this oil changed and move along with this 1,000-mile GROM review. All right guys, so right behind that tab is the drain plug. Now there's a couple different bolts on the bottom of this engine that some people get confused as the drain plug, so you're not gonna wanna do that. That is not the one you wanna unbolt. All you have to remember is that it's the bolt behind the tab right there. It's a 17mm bolt, so we're gonna go ahead and break that loose and drain the oil. Alright guys, so for the 1,000 miles that I've had this bike, I've only changed the oil twice. The recommended service interval in the manual is 600 miles, so I did 500, I'm doing it again at 500, and from now on I'm probably going to change the oil every 700 miles. It's recommended to use non-synthetic oil for the break-in, and that's exactly what I did. I've just been using some cheap 10W40 Valvoline 4-stroke oil. These bikes do have wet clutches, so it's recommended to run a non-synthetic. You can get away with using cheap oil if you change it often, and at the end of of the day, it's a 125cc 4-stroke motor from Honda, so you don't really have too much to worry about. It's not a big deal. Let's go ahead and top the bike off and keep it moving. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and fire it up, let it idle for a bit, and then check the levels. Alright guys, so we finished up the oil change. I'm going to go ahead and sit down with you guys and tell you some things that I like and dislike and things I've encountered over the first 1,000 miles of riding this machine. Now my first complaint right away when hopping on the bike for the first time was the seat. And as you saw in my other video, we went ahead and swapped that out. The stock seat is garbage, it had to go, as well as the handlebars. I could not stand the way that the stock bend is on the handlebars. It just feels too sweeped back towards you. I like a more straighter handlebar, like a more of a motocross style, so swap those out. Another big complaint that I have, as well as many others, is why do they insist on putting that big ugly fender on the back of these things? I just wish they came tail tidied from the factory and you didn't have to go waste your money on a kit to do what they should have done right out of the box. So over this past 1,000 miles, I've ridden in various types of terrain. I've taken this thing off-road, I've hit jumps. So I really tested out this suspension and put it to work. I wish it came with an adjustable shock right out of the factory. So that's another thing that I'm gonna have to upgrade here soon, and I'm gonna be doing a full video on that. All right guys, so another complaint I have is the tires. They're cheap, they don't grip worth a shit. And if you're doing any serious riding on this thing, you're gonna wanna swap those out and get something with a better compound. My next complaint is the chain. It gets loose really easy, and it's definitely gonna have to be upgraded here soon. All of those complaints that I just addressed are things that you can swap out fairly easily, but one thing that you really can't change unless you have some serious work done to it is the transmission. It slips all of the time no matter what you do, and I just wish they put a better transmission in this bike with maybe an added gear on the top end. Other than that guys, I'm done complaining. Don't let any of those things scare you away, because this bike is great overall and I've had an absolute blast riding it, and I have no regrets as far as purchasing this bike. And the fun factor is at an all-time high, and I've always said that it's fun riding a slow bike fast, but it's not so fun riding a fast bike slow, and that stands true. This thing is so much fun. You can push it to its absolute limits. It's just an all-around hooning machine. I will not be getting rid of this bike anytime soon. This one's gonna stay in the garage probably forever. It's a great bike for anybody. It's a good beginner bike. I mean, people can just hop on this and learn really easily. I've heard a bunch of people claim that they would get bored with it, that it's not enough power. The power that it has is what makes it fun. You can push it to its limit, you can ride the crap out of it, and you're not gonna get into a lot of trouble doing it. And Honda has always been good with their small engines, and this thing is as reliable as it gets. If you take care of this bike, it'll last you a long time, and you will have a lot of fun riding it. Other than that guys, future modifications that you guys can look forward to, I'm getting an exhaust ASAP. I need to change that out. It's annoying, I hate it. I've just been kind of weighing my options and seeing what I can get the best deal on. I would love to have the Yoshimura, but I really can't justify spending that much money. So it's either I'm gonna go as budget as it gets, or I'm gonna go ahead and do the Yoshimura. So let me know what you guys would like to see. I'm gonna get a sub cage soon with the 12 bar. I just haven't decided what company I'm gonna go with yet. I definitely need to get some frame sliders. I'm gonna do the flush mount turn signals. I'm gonna upgrade the suspension, front and rear. I'm gonna get the Maxxis tires here soon before winter. Other than that guys, I'm just gonna ride the crap out of this bike until it blows up. Well, if it ever blows up, and at that point we'll do the big bore kit, maybe a motor swap. And like I said guys, this bike is here to stay. There will be plenty of good entertaining content in the future, so if you're not already guys, go ahead and subscribe down below and hit that little notification bell that notifies you every time that I post a video. On top of that guys, leave a like if you enjoyed watching. Let me know what you guys want to see in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.